Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kriti and I'm back with another interview with a student studying here in Denmark. Today I have Aparajita with me who is doing masters in pharmaceutical sciences from Copenhagen University. I'm very excited to talk to Aparajita about quite a few topics, and our main focus would be how to find a student job here in Denmark, because Aprajita has got a student job. So she is in her second year of master's and also working as a student. So there are a lot of information for you guys who are planning to study here in Denmark. Aprajita, welcome to my channel. Tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you move to Denmark and how has it been for you?
Thank you for having me on your channel. So I'm from India and I'm from Mumbai. I moved to Denmark in August 2020. So that's like the whole, peak COVID time. so that's when I moved here, and it has been a little bit difficult since as soon as we entered, it was COVID, lockdown, all that same thing. So the courses have been shifted online, and it's a little bit difficult to meet your classmates, do your projects. The study techniques are different here, so it was a little bit difficult to adjust, but once you get the hang of it, it's very breezy, I want to say.
So you moved, and because I had also Srisha with me
Yes.
last in the last interview, and he also mentioned that he moved and it was lockdown. So did
Yeah.
you start your classes online?
No, so when we Shisha and I came here together, so we started our classes in person because at that time Denmark was pretty okay,
Mhm.
but I think a month or 1.5 month in, they shifted it online because even the people started increasing in number. And
Yeah.
but yeah, since pharmaceutical sciences is a little bit technical, and so we needed experiments, so those were in the lab, but whatever we could do online was online.
Okay. And Aprajita, tell us a little bit about the pharmaceutical sciences, because there are different streams that you
Yeah.
can choose. So how do you decide and what are those streams?
Yeah, so you come into pharmaceutical sciences, no matter which stream you would decide to choose, the first semester is the same for all of them. So within that time, you get a window to kind of choose. You can talk to your professors from different streams to understand what you want to do.
Mhm.
So there's track 1, 2, and 3. So first one is drug discovery, the second one is drug development, and the third one is more to do with the social pharmacy.
Mhm.
So I'm in drug development, which is track 2. So that's more to do with the formulation rather than the discovery of the drug. So once they have been discovered, uh,
Okay.
yeah, you figure out how to make it into a medicine. Yeah.
Mm.
And social is how to regulate it, how to market the product, and
I want to talk to you about the student job because that was quite interesting to know that you found a student job, and I think life becomes easier also
yeah.
when you have a job in Denmark. But tell us, like, how to start to look for student job. Is it already in the first year that you do?
Ideally, you should start looking as soon as you come here because it can be a little bit difficult. And for us, I think it was even more difficult since it was like COVID, and not everyone was calling for interviews. Not everyone had the resources to hire new students and everything. So it took me quite some time. It took me like a year. Um, After my 2 semesters were over, is when I found my student job.
Hmm.
And so there is a thing called Young Professionals in Denmark, which I didn't know about in my first year, but I found out in my second year. That's when I joined. But it's for international students who are studying here in the higher education. And it's basically just networking events. You connect with other international students, you gain their experiences. They help you with workshops on if you should learn Danish when you come here, what can you do to improve your CV based on Denmark standards, since the CV format they use in Denmark is quite different than what we do back
Hmm.
home. And yeah, they just help you like career building exercises. How can you work better in teams? How can you integrate better with Danish people, because that can be a little bit hard.
Yeah.
The culture is very different. But I think that was very helpful because they also do organize career fests and everything. So there are networking events also autonomous.
Mhm.
But through this, I went to like a one career fest, and that's where I got my student job, where you get to meet companies and you get to see their expectations on what they want from their student assistants or whatever you're applying for. So that was a really good insight into it.
So through young professional group, you got to know about the career fest.
Yeah, you have to kind of send your CV in, and they in if it's in person, they kind of go through it and see who can attend it and who can't, because there might be companies who are coming which are not relevant to my field, so it sort of
Okay.
doesn't make sense if I go there. But since this was online, they let everyone attend,
Hmm.
and the companies could choose who they want to interview. So that's how I got my interview. And yeah, the that was like a preliminary interview. Then they called me to their office and everything for a better, like a more detailed interview.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got the job that time.
Okay. So your career fest, this was like online,
Yeah, it was online.
and you attended, and then you got to meet the company.
Um, yeah, I got to meet the people from the company because they called me for an interview. But for people who didn't get an interview, it was also still very informative because there were, I think, 4 workshops that day. And there was the keynote speaker was the mayor of Lund in Sweden.
Hmm.
So yeah, so they were just sort of in general describing how they would want you to start applying, how to start looking for jobs, and just those workshops.
Yeah. So once you like found out about that career fest is happening, how did you prepare? Like, how did you prepare your CV, and then also did you look for the companies which were there in the career fest? How did you do that?
Yeah, so they share a kind of itinerary with you before the career fest, and you can see the companies that are coming. You
Mhm.
can't really choose. Like if it was in person, of course you can go. Like if you can choose and be like, I want to meet these people, and you can go there. But yeah, I kind of just read up on all the companies that were there. My CV was already made since I was applying for a lot of jobs at that time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think there's websites for Denmark CV building
Yeah.
based on, yeah. So I think that was the easy part.
And you did took some help, right? How to prepare the CV based on like because you are applying in Denmark.
Yeah, of course. So I do have like a lot of my seniors studying here from India.
Mhm.
So they're also working here now. So I did send them my CV and my cover letter to review and be like, what can I add? What should I remove? Because I think when you apply in India, there's a lot of unnecessary information
Yeah.
to make it look a little bit bigger. But here they just focus on the key points, which is really good because you don't need to expand on everything that you've done, just how you can help their company or how they can help you.
And based on your CV, they called you, right?
Yeah.
That's what I understood.
Yeah, so when I got the invitation, I read up on the company more. They have websites, of course. You can also reach out to them. They're very accommodating here. They don't mind if you call them and ask them a few questions. They're more than happy to help. So I just read up on the company, what they do, what I can do to help them, like how my experience it can be relevant to them in the future. And of course, they're gonna ask you if you want to stay in Denmark, of course, they want like a long-term person to stay with
Yeah.
them. So yeah, that was pretty much what I prepared. I just kind of made an introduction of myself and what I've done in my previous company, etc.
Okay. And how was your experience with the interview? Like, were they welcoming or
They were, yeah. So my interview was with pretty senior people in the company. So I was intimidated,
yeah,
but they are actually very, very nice. They don't want you to know everything. They know that you're a student, you're just starting out. Of course, there's no way that you know everything. They just want to see if you are willing to learn,
yeah.
if you have the potential, if you can be with them,
Mhm.
if you can integrate into their company as well as they did. And my second interview in their company was actually very informal. They just wanted to know about me. They did not ask me any technical question. I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to be the case always,
Yeah, yeah.
but they didn't ask me very technical questions. They didn't mean to intimidate me at all. They just wanted to know about me as a person more
Hmm.
than what I can do.
And you immediately got to know that you got the job, or was there a delay like after a week or so?
I went before the Christmas vacations, and I was like, okay, maybe they're going to take some time over the holidays. But they did tell me immediately that, you can join as a student. We can send you the contract right away. So, I mean, I was more than happy to join them.
Yeah. How many hours you are required to work in a week here, like as a student?
So the company requirements might differ, but as a student, you're only allowed to work 20 hours per week, so which
Hmm.
is 80 hours per month. But for me, it's minimum 10 hours is what I've been told. But I think
Okay.
10 hours is easy enough. It's just a day of work. So
Yeah. And is it like manageable when you are also studying and working?
yeah, it definitely is. I think that if you give enough time in your week, like if you give, say, 4 days for your university and 1 day for your work, or you can just, it actually doesn't take 4 whole days for
Yeah.
university because it's pretty chill here. But yeah, it's manageable, I would say.
Okay. And then based on like what you decide, this student contract can get into, permanent job after
Yeah,
you finish your masters.
yeah. I mean, of course, if you work well, why would they not take you?
Yeah. I want to understand like there are a lot of students who get the student job while they're studying, or is it like the ratio is quite less?
I mean, I would say that almost all of my Danish classmates already had student jobs because they also did their bachelor's here, so pharmacy,
Yeah.
and then they moved to pharmacy. So they already had them, they continued them. It can be a little bit hard for international students since we don't speak Danish, and it might not be a problem job wise, but when it comes to integrating into the
Yeah.
company with the people, I'm not saying they would prefer Danish, but it's always an advantage to have a Danish student over an international student. But of
Yeah.
course, I think Copenhagen is trying to attract more international talent now. So
Hmm.
it should be way better. And also, maybe once COVID goes, it'll be much more easier to
Yeah.
network with your companies. And so
So are you planning to start learning Danish, or have you already started?
I do want to start, but since the lessons are still online, I don't think I can do more
Yeah.
online things. It's like work online and studying online.
Yeah.
You need someone in front of you because online you won't really know what the other person is
Yeah.
saying.
Because I have my Danish class, and one class is online and one class is in person, and you speak very less when it's online. So
Of course,
definitely once it's like back to normal, it's good to start.
yeah, and I think it's always better to have some Danish people around to practice
Yes.
because you won't know if you're practicing with international students, all your pronunciations are going to be
It's
wrong.
different,
Yeah,
and it's like you have to have someone like Danish in your life to practice, because without speaking, even if you know how to write and everything, it will be difficult to pass the exams.
yeah,
So
of course.
I want to know a little bit about how to settle down in Denmark as a student, especially in the first few months where you feel homesickness. It's a
Yeah.
new country. So if you're coming from India, what would you say? Like, what can you suggest?
Yeah, so the first thing I would probably suggest is learning how to cook
Yeah,
because so at least Indian students, the food here is not going to be great for them because so probably learn how to cook. That's the best thing I can say,
yeah,
and that's going to save you a lot of money because eating
yeah.
out here is very expensive. It can be very expensive, and also, I would say not to keep converting the currency in your head
Yes,
because then you're not going to eat.
yeah.
That was the worst thing that I've done. But I think once you get used to it, it becomes pretty normal.
I still do
Um,
it after 4 years.
yeah,
Okay, one Danish kroner is how many
yeah,
Indian currency?
yeah. And also maybe try to integrate with people from different cultures
Mhm.
rather than just staying with your group. Of course, that you do need a group from your home just to make you feel like it's okay. But
Yeah,
if you integrate with others, you of course you see different cultures, you see different people, how they have grown up, what
Yeah.
they eat, how they speak. Yeah,
Because I feel like in Copenhagen there are a lot of
yeah,
internationals, so you should not just start looking for Danish friends,
yeah.
go for internationals. Is it also the same like in the university you have a lot of internationals
Yeah,
students?
I do have a lot of international students. Honestly, I've not seen as many Danish students as I have seen international, but
Okay.
that's probably yeah. And also, it's a little bit difficult because at least if you're coming from India, if you're doing your masters, you have probably started right after bachelor's or a year or two after bachelor's. But here
Mhm.
you will find older people,
Yeah.
and they have so much knowledge to give you on their own country, and I think
Yeah.
that's really good because you grow like even if so I came here when I was 21 and
Mm.
I was hanging out with like 27, 28 years old.
Yeah.
So but you do learn a lot from them.
Yeah, I think I also feel like, after moving to Denmark, I have learned a lot about other culture, but I have learned a lot about my own country because you have to speak about India.
Yeah,
It's like you're representing India, so you need to know about India a lot.
exactly.
Yeah. And Aparajita, I remembered you mentioned when we spoke before that Denmark was not your first choice when you decided to do masters.
Yeah.
But how is it now? Like, are you like, are you happy? Are you settled? Do you feel
Yeah.
settled?
So my first choice was of course US, like every other
Yeah,
student. But I think not being able to go there was sort of like a blessing in disguise because the sort of balance you have here with your work, your study life, your social life, everything.
yeah,
It's I don't think that you can get this anywhere else. I've never seen a country like this who
yeah,
is so chill, and the sort of relationship you have with your managers and stuff. Um, there's no hierarchy here. They
yeah.
treat you like an equal, which actually motivates you to do so much more than you would if you were intimidated by them or you were scared by them. But yeah, I think if you have like such a friendly relationship, you want to do well. You know,
Hmm.
it's not work anymore. It's something that you want to do and you must do.
And
So
you want to
that
learn, right?
yeah,
Because yeah.
you learn from them. You're not just absorbing knowledge. You're just you really need to learn.
Hmm.
I think that's really good over here.
So there is like people say like in Denmark you have work-life balance, but here you also have study-work balance
Yeah, study, work, and life.
and life. Yes.
Yeah, and it's not hard. I
Yeah.
mean, I thought I would be drowning in work, but it's actually quite simple if you know how to manage your time well.
Okay. So it is manageable and it is
Yeah,
good to have, a job as well. Okay. And anything else would you like to say, student who are planning to, move to Denmark for study? What should they bring along, or any suggestions for students?
well, definitely bring along the normal medicines
Yeah,
because they can be quite expensive here. I mean, not the prescription ones, just for your stomach ache, headache, all that stuff.
yeah,
But that's me as a pharmacy student. I
yeah.
can't. Yes.
That's a good suggestion. Yes, yes.
Yeah, and also maybe spices.
Spices. Yes.
Yeah,
Like bring your Indian taste with you
yeah, of
uh,
course,
for
and
the
learn how to
beginning.
cook.
Yes.
Yeah,
So have you learned now how to cook? Like, are you also cooking food or?
I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just cook like one thing and I cook it in bulk, so I don't have to cook again.
Yeah, but that's a good thing, right? In Denmark,
Yeah,
I like that. Even I cook at least for 2 days,
yeah,
maybe eating 3 times, but yeah, 2 days bulk cooking, I also do.
yeah. It can be a little bit difficult, but I think once you are on your own, if you have
Yeah.
to learn, you will learn.
So, Aprajita, maybe the last thing I would love to know about, maybe semester wise, give us an idea about the tuition fee here in
Yeah.
Denmark.
So in 2020, I think when I came, my semester fee is 54,000 Danish krona per semester.
Mhm.
But as far as I'm aware, I know that there are a lot of scholarships. So if you are applying to Denmark, it's very advisable to read through them first and kind of figure out what you can apply to.
Mhm.
And yeah, That'll
So
be
there
really
are,
helpful.
yeah, so like these informations you can also read online
Yeah,
on the
like I
university.
think, yeah, at least for KU, my university, they do have it on their website, and I'm sure that any other university, CBS or something, will also have it on their website.
Okay.
They're pretty informative.
So you should also find out about all the scholarship, before applying and everything.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So Aprajita, thank you so much for your time. This was really helpful.
Yeah,
And
thank
I
you for
wish you,
having me.
yeah, thank you. I wish you all the best with your job as well. So definitely I would love to have you again on my channel, Aprajita. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Kriti.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.